This photograph of an isolated tribal community is a visual record of marginalization. This isolation is a historical burden, resulting from centuries of deliberate exclusion from opportunities. The consequences are visible here. When forced to the margins, communities become vulnerable to exploitation, deep poverty, and the persistent threat of violence. For a modern republic, the challenge is clear. How do you bridge a societal gap this deep, built over hundreds of years? Addressing marginalization is not a passive process. It requires a coordinated effort from both the state and the public to confront inequality directly. The first path to inclusion is through the law. The Indian Constitution serves as the state's primary tool for enforcing justice. Its text provides specific guarantees for every citizen: fundamental rights, the prohibition of discrimination, and equality before the law. These laws were shaped by architects like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who understood that marginalized groups required specific legal protections to survive and thrive in a new republic. To make those constitutional rights a reality, the state uses the legislative power of the parliament to draft specific laws and welfare schemes. These initiatives take the theoretical promises of the Constitution and turn them into active government programs designed to support weaker sections of society. The state's role on this front is to build a structural framework. It creates the rules that make discrimination illegal and ensure that justice can be enforced in a courtroom. One of the most direct tools the state uses is the reservation system. By setting aside seats in education and jobs, the system acts as a ladder for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes to enter institutions that were historically closed to them. Welfare schemes support this ladder by improving local living conditions and providing the education necessary to compete for those opportunities. But the state must also provide a shield. In 1989, the government passed the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act to protect these communities from physical harm. This law uses strict criminal punishments to deter violence and exploitation, providing a necessary layer of legal security for those at risk. These legal shields and educational ladders are vital, but they respond to the symptoms of exclusion. The 1989 Act exists precisely because the threat of violence remains, indicating that legal force is a necessary stopgap until the underlying cultural frictions are resolved. While the government can mandate quotas and punish crimes, the law alone cannot force public prejudice to disappear. Inclusion requires a second path, the active cooperation of a respectful public. In daily life, this means rejecting interpersonal discrimination and supporting the equal rights of all citizens through shared effort. Public respect cannot be legislated. It depends on individual empathy and a conscious shift away from historical biases. These two efforts must work together. State-led welfare schemes require the support of citizens to be truly effective on the ground. Confronting marginalization is a shared responsibility, split between the enforcement of the justice system and the conscience of the public. The state provides the machinery for social justice, but its success depends on the society using it. Only through this combination can the roots of marginalization be addressed.